You're listening to Airey Bros Radio. Be there or be square, because it's all killer, no filler.
You just got to embrace those lows and recognize that you're in a low. I believe like wrestling teams have like each person has like a great personality, so like might as well like show it to people. And I say it's pretty amusing coming out of high school when you think you're good, which you might be for high school, but when a seasoned college wrestler puts his hands on you, it's a whole different world. It felt like a family, and it was just like Southern comfort. I think kids should really focus on mindset. That's the biggest thing I got from this sport. The mindset that you get from wrestling could help you, in your future. These bumps and stuff is what makes wrestling beautiful. If you stick with it, you'll become that seasoned college wrestler, and then you don't realize it until you go back to your high school for like Christmas break, and then you wrestle all the high school wrestlers, and you're like, man, I'm beating them up right now. Dude, are you crazy? Like what? This is Joey Bianchi, and you're listening to Airey Bros Radio.
How you doing, Joey?
Pretty good.
How's Arkansas treating you?
Not too bad. It's weirdly cold today, but it's better than Wisconsin. So
No doubt, no doubt. Did you guys get any rain today?
it was like last night we got a little rain. We're supposed to get some tomorrow, so we'll see how that goes.
I'm in South Carolina and we just got dumped on this afternoon, so I was just curious if it came from your way.
Oh yeah, it's coming soon. So
Yeah.
Did you get a new truck or car?
no, not yet. We're working on that right now. So yeah, it's been a rough time.
Yeah, that sounded like a wild trip on the way home, man. You're a better man than me. I would have called AAA like 6 hours into that.
Oh man, I can't even begin to describe like the feelings. It was so weird. Yeah, it was just like I was like, do we go all the way, or do we like ask for help? But we decided to go until we couldn't. So
Did you take it into the shop and see what the diagnosis was or no?
no, okay, so we already fixed the brakes on it like a while back, and we already knew, like, I was like, I don't know if this is a good investment. I don't know if we should just decide it's totaled, because honestly it was totaled with the brakes, and we ended up spending like $2,000 on the brake, like the whole brake system, because it was all gone. And but we got it fixed. We're like, you know what, we're just gonna do it and see what happens. But I knew something bad, another thing would happen, and here we are.
Right on. So you're originally from Wisconsin. I know your brother goes to school with you as well. Is that what kind of made your decision for Little Rock? Kind of what went into going to Little Rock and, going to a program that was starting?
Yeah, so my junior year of high school, I went to nationals, Fargo, Freestyle Greco, and I did very well. I placed, made it to the semis, lost to a guy named what's his name? Anyway, I'll get back to that. But I did very well at the tournament, and my coach, he's kind of the head of Wisconsin Wrestling Federation, and his name's Scott Cleaver, and I'm very close with him. He's one of my close coaches. But he had close contact with my coach Neil Ersman, and he said, I'm gonna contact him and let him know that that he should hit you up. And I was already talking to like NDSU, because my older brother Paul was there at the moment. West Point was hitting me up because one of my other brothers went there, not for wrestling, but he did go there. And then Wisconsin, of course. But I had options, and I was like, I don't know, maybe I should take the safe route and go like, to established programs. But Neil Ersman hit me up. I went down to Little Rock, and he didn't have the facility there yet, obviously, but it was just tennis courts. So here he is walking around. He's like, okay, so this is gonna be here. this can be there. And I'm just like, dude, are you crazy? Like what? So, but he's a very good salesman. Ended up getting me to want to go there. I decided not to even visit these other places because sometimes you just get that feeling that it's the right place. And he brought us to like Pat Smith's house, and it just felt like a family, and it was just like Southern comfort. So yeah, I just decided to go there, and Paul wasn't really liking it. My other brother Paul, he wasn't really liking NDSU. So he was like, you know what, I'm gonna check Little Rock out, and he ended up coming down to Little Rock, and then Matthew followed as well. So it's basically how we got in contact with Little Rock in the South.
So is it four brothers?
It's my oldest brother Sam, and then it's Paul, and then it's my another brother Tommy. Sam and Tommy they're in the Army. Sam went to West Point. Tommy he went through ROTC in a school in Wisconsin. And then it's me, and then Matthew, and then I have a little sister named Angie.
Oh, okay.
So we got a big family.
Finally ran out of some testosterone. You got a girl in the family, huh?
Right.
Is everyone a wrestler? At some point?
Yeah, everyone wrestled at some point. It was just that me, Paul, and Matthew stuck with it. Tommy played football. Sam, he was a really good runner. He holds our high school record for the mile. He ran a 4:19 and got like third at state. So he's pretty fast. He lives in Alaska right now. But our sister Angie also wrestles. So she's up and coming. She's like 14. Sometimes I lose track. But yeah.
Was there a connection with your dad or someone else in the family that got you guys into wrestling, or was it just something the first one out decided they was going to do?
So us being from Wisconsin, my mom wanted to keep us, active and going to sports during the winter. And she decided that hockey was a little too expensive with all the equipment and stuff. So she was like, I'll put him up for wrestling, see how that goes. And at first, as kids, we were just rolling around, having a good time. And then we ended up getting more and more serious. Paul, he started, winning a lot of tournaments, like national tournaments as a kid. He won, I think it was A6 Nationals, called A6 Nationals at some point up in Iowa. So we started getting a little more serious. I started winning, like we started winning state and stuff and folk style, like kids national or kids state. And my mom and dad started investing and putting money in the sport for us because they decided, should we put money in sports, in their athletic ability, or should we just save it up for college? And they're like, you know what, we'll just put it in to athletic ability, and hopefully they can get scholarships. So that's what they did, and we just stuck with wrestling, and it ended up being pretty expensive with national team stuff. So I was like, you could have just put us out for hockey at some point. But yeah, so we didn't have any connection with wrestling, or my dad didn't wrestle or anything. So we basically just started by ourselves.
Is there a lot of holes in the wall in the basement?
No, those are concrete walls, but we actually so our upstairs in our house, it was an attic, but they renovated it and made it our bedroom. So there's one room with Matthew and Sam, and then another room up there with Tommy, me, and Paul. So we would have our fun times, and we grew up watching Rocky, so we'd be punching each other and stuff, and we'd get yelled at. But my brother Tommy, he's one of the smarter ones in our family. He's like, you know what? Let's wrap Beanie Babies around our fists, and then we won't hurt each other. But man, when you got hit by that marble eye, that was not fun. But yeah, we had good times as kids. So
nice.
So how many brothers are on the team with you right now?
So right now it's just me and Matthew. Paul he accepted a new job up in Minnesota. He's an assistant coach at Mankato. So he's doing good. He's having a good time up there right now.
Do you and your brother Matthew train together on a regular basis?
We do. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he came in as a 41 pounder, but he got big, and so now he's 57 pounder. So yeah, we've always been pretty close on weight, and our coach made us, wrestle, get rid of the big brother effect. So Matthew doesn't let up on me or anything. So yeah, we go at it in the wrestling room. So it's pretty fun.
How is
So,
it? Does it stay in the wrestling room? Are there any days that you're walking out of the room and you're pushing each other and mushing each other in the face?
Yeah, no, it stays in the wrestling room for sure. In high school, we I don't know, there wasn't, I wouldn't call it bad blood, but it was just brotherly love, I would call it. But yeah, we're pretty close right now since we're living in the same apartment and stuff. So yeah.
I guess my question would be, I have a set of twins on my team, and one of them won by pin last night. The other one lost by pin last night, and so we were talking this morning about it. And I said, "Are you? If your brother hadn't have won last night, or if you didn't have a brother, would you be as upset right now?" And he thought about it for a second. And he said, "Probably not." So I guess my question is, when you're coming up and all that stuff, is there any sort of awkwardness or animosity if one wins or one lost, or how is that coming up? Maybe not so much now that you're in college and more mature, but I'm sure with a big family like that, some people are winning sometimes, some people are losing sometimes. I mean, how did that work for you guys?
Oh, I would think, as we were kids, we were very competitive. We're like, who's better. And I mean, we wouldn't talk about it, but we'd definitely think about it for sure. So like if Paul won a tournament and like say I go 0-2 barbecue at that tournament, I was like, man, I'm a loser. I suck. Like, what the heck? And then, but on the other side, if you win and your brother loses out, it's like, man, I kind of feel bad for you, man. Like, I kind of wish, but so we all want to win, but yeah, if you lose, someone else wins. It's like, we still got that competitive thought, but yeah, in college, it's not as much like since we're on the same team, when I get those points, we're happy for each other if we win. Even if we lose, even if the other person loses, it's yeah, we always hope they win. So yeah, as kids in high school, middle school, yeah, I would say we definitely were pretty competitive in that standpoint.
Right on. Yeah. With with growing up in Wisconsin, now being in Arkansas, was there a bit of culture shock going down south, or did you? Because like I moved from Colorado to South Carolina, and I fully embraced the Southern hospitality, and I thoroughly enjoy the yes sir, no sir, like all that sort of attitude with it. Was there any sort of culture shock? Are you really enjoying it, or how's all that?
Yeah, I'm definitely enjoying it. I would say there was a little culture shock. Um, Sometimes in the north, like say in high school, walking past a teacher, sometimes they wouldn't even like say hi unless we really knew them. Uh, but down south, a random person will say, "Hi, how's your day?" Stuff like that. Obviously, we sound a little weird, or we sound weird to people because we got a little northern accent. It's not too crazy, but they definitely make fun of us a little bit. But yeah, the southern hospitality is, I love it. I mean, people seem so nice all the time until I realized what "bless your heart" means. You know, calling, but
Fill us in.
yeah,
Fill us who live in Colorado what the meaning of bless your heart is.
yeah. Okay, so say you like don't understand a certain like topic or something like that, just to be a little broad, but say you don't understand and you were wrong. They're like, "Oh, bless your heart." It means like,
You're stupid.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, it's okay because you're stupid. It's okay. Like it's not really polite, but it sounds polite. But yeah, things like that.
You said you have a hard time avoiding the Southern comfort foods during wrestling season.
Yes. Yeah. So there are a lot of new different restaurants, things like that weren't like very close to me. I don't know if they like things like Raising Canes. Like we love Raising Canes. Um, yeah, all like the crab boils, crawdads, things like that. All like that Southern barbecue. man, it's hard to stay away from for sure.
Yeah.
Could you see yourself staying in Arkansas post graduation, or you want to go see some other things?
uh that's a good question. I thought about it. I mean, Arkansas is slept on, I would say. It is a beautiful state, but I mean, I kind of want to get into like some sort of business and stuff. So I think I would think about like Texas. I feel like Texas has good opportunity with business and stuff. But I do want to check out different states. You know, I've been around like for wrestling, but I've never like stayed in certain places for like, long periods of time besides Wisconsin and Arkansas. So I think it'd be pretty cool to, get out a little bit. Maybe I'll come back, maybe I won't, but who knows?
Do you have cowboy boots?
I do not. No,
No.
no, they're expensive.
Yeah, they are.
My
They ain't
coach, my
cheap.
coach wears his cowboy boots every duel, so every home
Yeah,
duel.
they're not cheap for sure.
Yeah.
Is there a distinct? Can you tell like the difference in the dress? Like, oh, you must be from Arkansas. You dress different, or is it not that out of the ordinary? Are there dudes wearing cowboy boots and cowboy hats, or is that just kind of here and there?
Yeah, no, dudes do wear like, nice thick blue jeans with some work cowboy boots, um, and some like plaid or something. Like there's a lot of people that, I mean, they might not wear like cowboy hats all the time, but they'll wear hats like, Huey, if you know that brand. It's southern brand like that. But yeah, there's a lot, people always wear hats, and people do wear boots a lot. I'll say that. It's a little different like where we are on campus. So we're like pretty near the ghetto. So we don't see a lot of cowboys, I would say. But once you get like 10 minutes away from where we are, yeah, you see a lot of them.
So you think you'll adopt any of that, or no? Because you're 10 minutes outside and don't want to get beat up in the ghetto.
I don't think I will adopt it.
All right.
Oh, come on. You got to get yourself a pair of boots.
A belt
I might
buckle,
have
at
to.
least some blue jeans.
Yeah, I don't wear jeans often, I'll be honest. I wear a lot of athletic clothing. I like to be comfortable.
Athleisure.
Yes.
So you wanted to get into business. You kind of got something going now with the vlog, which is what caught my eye last season. I'm an older man. I wrestled a decade ago, but now I'm back in school and I'm a film student. So what you're doing really catches my eye because you're taking my two passions and put them together. So I'm curious to where that started and what that looks like as a Division I wrestler and a full academic workload.
Yeah, so it started, I always wanted to like, I don't know, just content creation, like filming, like it all like seemed very interesting to me. And I was always like thinking, like looking at some, I'm like, man, I wonder what like that would look on like camera or like a video. Like I wonder how that would look. And seeing like vloggers, it always just seemed like a cool like thing to do. And then I also started seeing like people like Caden Henschel, Roman Bravo Young, like Jesse Vasquez, people like that, like, starting to make like video content with wrestling. And I was like, I mean, they're like from different, like Caden's Wisconsin, Roman Bravo Young, Pennsylvania, Jesse Vasquez, Arizona State. Like they're all from different types of the country. So I was like, I mean, might as well be like the Southern person, I guess. But I feel like it helps grow the sport and just like make it a little mainstream for people to like realize what we do and how our lives are day by day as like a student athlete. The workload, it does get a little stressful sometimes, but I really like, I love filming and stuff, but editing is like really fun for me. I like seeing it all come together. So it's really at this point I mean I just consider it a hobby. Like even if I were to make money or something like that, like it's just fun to do, so I think that's what really makes it easier, even with the homework and wrestling practice, stuff like that.
So, two questions off of that. You mentioned Caden. Did you guys rub elbows at AWA at all?
Uh, we didn't. So like, there's different locations, so we didn't see each other much. Um, we have wrestled. I think it was like middle school, maybe early high school, like Greco. Like I beat him. He actually beat me for in the state finals for Greco one year in high school, I believe. So we're relatively close, but we didn't see each other in like, we were just different Askren like locations usually.
Right on. And you said using it as a way to grow the sport, which I think you're doing a great job with. Has your coach or any recruits coming on like, oh, I decided to come on a visit or look at the school because I saw your video? Have you seen any of that, or have they been using your videos to be like, hey, this is what goes on in the room on a daily basis?
Uh, Not yet. Like, it hasn't been a good recruiting tool yet at the moment, but people definitely do recognize Little Rock more than they would have if I wasn't doing this, I would say. Along with Matthew making his like TikToks and stuff. But the coaches enjoy watching all of them. I try to get them in there sometimes. Because I believe like wrestling teams have like each person has like a great personality, so like might as well like show it to people, and I say it's pretty amusing. So
So coach is on board.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, there was one point where like he had his shirt off and he was like, "Hey, like what the heck?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I didn't even notice." Like, it was during one of the interviews. It was I was like, "I'm so sorry."
You mentioned Pat Smith earlier. Is he around a lot? Is he pretty? I know he's pretty influential, and it was pretty influential in the beginning when Arkansas started getting as a state, in high school, getting wrestling going. Is he around? Is he in the room? Has he been a part of the program?
Yeah, early on, when I was like a freshman stuff, he would come in and show some technique. He's been bringing his son in, Gus, to scrap with us here and there. But recently he's been in there like almost every day, just like you know bringing his son in, checking us out, like talking to us. So yeah, he sticks around. He definitely helps, and uh, it's just cool to have him around. He's like someone to look up to.
And when you were going through the recruiting process and you met him, were you aware of him before you got there, or did you have to do a Google search to find out how amazing of a wrestler he was?
I was definitely aware of him, but I did also look him up afterwards, and just to see like all the stuff that he did, and I was like, wow. Yeah, when I was talking to him, that's the other thing. The South has big bugs. So when I was first talking to him, it was dark out. There's like, we were in front of his garage or something before we left, and this big cicada came in and like landed on my chest, but it like hit my chest when it landed me. I was like, and I freaked out, and I was like, ah, and I just felt so embarrassed because he just started laughing at me. I was like, that was a really big bug. He's like, yeah, we have those around here. So
Yeah, there's a lot of bugs for sure.
yeah.
So, how's the season been going? How's everything going? How's the weight management? And is everyone? Are you healthy right now? As I know, the January grind is a real thing.
Yeah, season's going pretty good. Recently, uh, against NDSU, um, I hurt my rib a little bit, like tore some cartilage and stuff like that. So it was pretty rough. And then I thought I probably shouldn't have wrestled in the scuffle. I hurt it a little more, but we've been recovering it. Not say like not wrestling live in practice or something. Doing a lot of rehab. So my rib is definitely a problem right now, but it's healed up pretty well. So we have a duel tomorrow, and then Sunday. So we'll see how it holds up. But I'm pretty optimistic about it. But yeah, we've been grinding pretty hard.
Is it a big difference? I mean, I know you wrestled year round and stuff like that, but I don't think some people realize the level that jumps from even as an elite high school wrestler to get to into the Division 1 ranks.
Yeah, it's a huge jump actually. When I first even though if it was a new program, we had transfers come in, but when you're high school coming out of high school and you think you're good, which you might be for high school, but when a seasoned college wrestler puts his hands on you, it's a whole different world. He's like so strong, and you're like, oh my gosh, his pace is insane. How can he keep going? I'm really tired. How is he not tired? But it's just like a mental battle at first. But if you stick with it, you'll become that seasoned college wrestler, and then you don't realize it until you go back to your high school for like Christmas break, and then you wrestle all the high school wrestlers, and you're like, man, I'm beating them up right now. But yeah, it's definitely a change.
Do you look at old tape and realize like, oh, I've added this to my game, or I've added that to my game? Do you look back at yourself and be like, oh, I'm a whole nother wrestler now?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. So basically all of our coaches, I believe all of our coaches right now have come from OSU, Oklahoma State. Um, I wouldn't say we're 2.0 of Oklahoma State. We're our own thing, but yeah, we definitely have picked up some sort of like hard Southern wrestling type vibes with our team. So we're always head to the grindstone, tough wrestlers, and we always try to outlast and stuff. So yeah, in high school stuff like that, I wasn't as like in the face type of wrestler. I was trying to be slick and stuff, but yeah, now I'm coming at you, stuff like that. So yeah, I would say I've changed a lot as a wrestler, but I still have those certain moves that I've always hit um, for as long as I can remember.
Said got a little bit of an OSU vibe. Um, is there a system in place, or does coach kind of maybe have a little bit of something he wants you working on, but he allows you the freedom to kind of still utilize some of the things that have worked for you in high school and coming through?
Yeah, so I mean, at first he training all of us the same way, but he definitely it took him a little bit to notice like you know what each of our like specialties are, I guess, and like they try to highlight those certain moves and encourage us to keep working on them and drill those moves. Um, and they have specific ways where or specific drills where we are able to use those moves, but we're also doing what he's teaching. So something like moving forward and getting angles, but then using those to get to our certain moves that we work on. So uh, it's helping us jump huge levels right now. So it's going good.
Was there any confusion or not buying into the system on your end when you first got there, or were you pretty receptive to everything coach was given to you?
I was pretty receptive. There's certain points where wrestling with the aspirants and stuff. I always like to ask questions and kind of test him, and not test him, but just kind of challenge what he was teaching at first. But he would always have an answer for it. So yeah, Coach Ersman, he's a smart guy when it comes to wrestling. So and he's pretty slick himself. He knows a lot of scrambles, situations and stuff. So I basically bought in and you know just go full into what he's teaching, and yeah, it's helping me jump levels.
And you were there for the first season.
Yeah, I was a redshirt for the inaugural season.
So
Um,
you mentioned coming in for your tour, right? And he's pointing, there's going to be something there. There's going to be something there, right? And now
yeah.
you're a junior, right? Your third year with the program. What's that like for you? What has that evolution been? Actually seeing the wrestling facility and seeing the team up and running, and did you kind of have this expectation you guys were going to be where you are right now, or better or worse?
Uh, yeah, I really didn't have like a. I don't really remember like having a certain expectation. Um, I guess I was just like I did not expect us to like be where we are right now. To be honest, I was like, maybe maybe I'll graduate and see the team starting to get better and better and beat more teams. But we're out here. This is actually my fourth year since I redshirted and then wrestled the COVID year and then another year COVID year and now this year. So yeah, but yeah, we're beating teams like Tennessee Chattanooga. We beat them pretty well. We had a close duel with Campbell. I think it came down to the last match. So seasoned teams like that are established programs, we are we're right there, and we're just going to keep building and building. And with our coaches' recruiting skills, we're going to get more and more or we're going to get better, high school wrestlers coming in. So yeah, I feel like we're just growing pretty quick. So it's awesome to see.
Are kids pretty receptive to coming to the South? Because Jimmy and I always talk about it. We like to have people from up and coming programs, smaller programs, NAIA, D2, and we're all about opening people's eyes to different programs and stuff. And coming from up north in New Jersey, where we're originally from, we always think like go someplace where it's warm in the wintertime or warmer in the wintertime. Are the recruiting pools are they opening up, and especially because you guys are in the Pac-12, are you seeing guys coming in from pretty much all over at this point?
Yeah, we get a lot of guys from the West Coast. There's a few of us from Wisconsin, some guys from Florida, of course, guys from, Kansas, Missouri, Oklahoma. So, yeah, we get guys from a lot of places. So, I mean, I don't know if the coaches have like their favorite states to recruit from or whatnot, but yeah, so we're pretty diverse in that sort of sense. But there's not many distractions like here in Little Rock. Like it's not a huge school, so we all become very close, and we all embrace the South, I guess, state of Arkansas. So yeah, seems like everyone that doesn't transfer or quit or something like that, everyone that's on the team right now is very close, and we enjoy our time here.
You mentioned embracing the South. Is there anyone other than Coach on the team that has cowboy boots?
I don't think so.
Oh man, we gotta get
I don't
you
think
guys.
so.
We gotta
We
get you
did.
guys the boot barn.
Yeah. We did have Chandler Rogers, but he went back to school in Oklahoma or Oklahoma State. So, but yeah, he had cowboy boots, but yeah, all the other coaches they're not really from the South. I don't know if Coach Austin Schaefer has boots, but I don't see him wearing them if he does. So yeah, it's just Coach Richardson right now.
Okay, all right. Are there any guys on the team actually from Arkansas?
Yeah, Jake Adams, his name is. He's also one of our 149 pounders. I mean, he grew up in Oklahoma for a little bit, but then he moved to Arkansas, so they use him as the Arkansas boy.
Okay.
So
the token.
yeah.
Nice.
Being in Arkansas, have you followed the high school wrestling? Have you been at Pat Smith's club? What is the state of Arkansas wrestling look like on the youth level up to high school? And at what point do you guys think you'll be able to recruit kids from in-state?
I would say there's definitely there's a few Arkansas wrestlers that are showing themselves, I guess. There's a few good ones. But at the moment, it's the wrestling in Arkansas is still pretty young, but I would say I don't know. I would say a few years. They're putting a lot of money and effort into wrestling in Arkansas. So I feel like we'll start to see more and more D1 level Arkansas wrestlers.
Is Pat's son in high school?
Yeah, I believe so. He's still young though, but I feel he's going D1 for sure. Yeah, we're working on him. And his other son Boone he's a hard head. He's going to be good as well.
Is John W. going to get them get the family lineage back in Stillwater, or are you guys going to be able to keep him in Little Rock?
It's Good question. They do wear a lot of OSU stuff, but I see them wearing some Little Rock stuff more often. So who knows? We might be able to keep them. I feel like by that time, Little Rock's gonna be a very strong program, so might be better than OSU. Who knows?
Sky's the limit.
Yeah.
Right.
What's the campus like? What other sports are big? Are you guys one of the bigger sports, or they got a good football team? What's that like?
Yeah. So I would say Little Rock. We want to turn it into a wrestling school, of course, but at the moment, I would say it's a basketball school. So yeah, they've had some long and good history with basketball here at this school. There's also swimming and track, but I would say publicity wise, the wrestling program has like the most following and stuff. So we're gonna catch up to basketball, hopefully start winning more stuff. And but yeah, we don't have a football team or anything like that. So the campus really isn't packed all the time or anything. It's a it's pretty big campus, but it's not huge. But it's pretty. I'll say that.
Is there like a downtown life and stuff like that?
Uh, yeah, I wouldn't. It's not a college town, but yeah, there's a nice area downtown. There's also a place called the Promenade, like North Little Rock, and uh, other places around around downtown that are pretty nice.
What's the undergraduate population?
I don't know I think it was like they say like every year like 13,000, but I don't. I mean, there's got to be a lot of like online students because like the campus is not packed whatsoever. But I'm not totally sure on the number of that.
Okay. And when we talked to Caden, he had mentioned that he takes classes, but everything he does is online, and that really kind of helps with his content creation and stuff. Are you going in-person classes? You take online classes? What's your day look like? When does practice fit in? We've had some coaches that say they do their main session in the morning, and then some other programs are still kind of that traditional afternoon. So what's your day looking like?
Yeah, so I take all online because yes, it helps with time management for sure. But yeah, we usually have either a morning lift or we call them morning individuals. It's basically just like two separate groups. So the same lifting groups that we have two lifting groups. And sometimes we lift in the morning or wrestle in the morning, like do technique, and then we usually have an afternoon practice at like 2:30. So it gives us like a little time in the afternoon just to relax and get ready for the next day, I guess, because in the wrestling season, all you do is want to relax and wrestle. So yeah, our days are pretty simple in that sense.
Bringing up that you like to take the online classes so you have more time and you can manage your time better. When it comes to creating content, what does that look like for you? Are you kind of just whipping out your phone and recording as the day goes? Are you storyboarding? Like, I want to, highlight this week. I want to do that. How's that look?
Yeah, so I mean, during the season, I just, I'm gonna make this video for this competition this week. So at the moment, I'm just doing like about one video a week. But I do like think of ideas for like say the off season, and I jot those down in my phone. So I'm really excited for the off season because those are gonna be some fun videos. Things that involve like food, things that involve just working out, stuff like that. So yeah, it's just like one video a week, just like based on competition. So there's not too much thought besides like, thinking of like, where like angles and stuff like that. If I'm gonna do like a, little interview with all my teammates, like just to like make it fun. But yeah.
Are you sticking to? Are you spreading across multiple platforms? I don't really get into the TikTok and the Snapchat, but it seems like that's a younger thing.
Yeah, so at the moment I'm like I make the YouTube videos, and then I take some footage for like Instagram Reels, and then I post those on TikTok, and then YouTube Shorts as well. So I'm starting to try to post a little more on like TikTok, because I did gain a decent following on TikTok like before, uh, like earlier in my as like a freshman or something. And then I just stopped making them for some reason. So I'm gonna have to get back on that because I did have like a good time making those. Like I think I gained the following during like a COVID. I was really bored, so I started making TikToks and got a lot of views on them.
All right. What you said, you mentioned that the main practice was in at 2:30 in the afternoon. I'm always fascinated by practice plans and stuff. What's a typical session at Little Rock look like? What's the layout look like? Not that I have to give any inside secrets, but around about, as a coach, I'm always looking for new ideas and innovative ways to bring high school kids up in South Carolina wrestling, because I think South Carolina is kind of maybe a little bit above Arkansas, in terms of being around
Oh,
a little bit longer, but it's definitely, it's not on a New Jersey or Wisconsin level for sure.
right. Yeah. So we have like a 15-ish minute warm up. Jogging, getting some gymnastics in, just warm up the body, and then we do like stance in motion, and then get our partner do some we do a lot of angle drills, uh that just like good head positions, like so positioning drills, angle drills, and then we usually get into either some kind of guided drilling or some technique, and then we do that for like I would say like 30 minutes, and then we get into some scrapping, either that or we just have like a big long drill day, which those are pretty hard, but and then or we just wrestle live, and sometimes we do like situational live goes, and sometimes we do matches depending on what our schedule is like for competition that week.
And are you practicing in practice gear? Are you getting in a singlet with a t-shirt under? What's your style?
So I usually go shirt with either compression shorts, or we got these 3/4 tights. So they're just like tights that they don't go all the way down to your ankles. They just kind of stop like mid calf. Those are pretty nice. Or yeah, I do like compression shorts. So yeah, I like to wear like tighter clothing. When it comes down to getting close to weigh-ins, I get a little bit of sweats on. Maybe just wear tights and a crew neck, or pants and a crew neck. But yeah, usually I just do t-shirt and compression.
How much of a difference is it from your weight class to your walk around weight in the summer?
In the summer, I get pretty big. This past summer, I tried not to get too big, so I was sitting at like 173, which is pretty far
Damn.
over my weight class. But I love to lift and I love to eat, so I wasn't surprised that it got that heavy. But there was a point where I was up at like 182 one year. I wasn't fat or anything, but I was lifting a lot. So I would say like preseason, it's pretty rough getting back down, but once I'm down here, it's pretty easy to maintain.
That's
what are you walking around at these days? Like before weigh-ins?
Yeah, so say like a week out, I'm usually like 10 over. So I'm usually sitting, 159, sometimes 160. But we try to stay at like our coach calls it 5%. And so that's like 156 and a half. So I try to be that like close to that. Um, but yeah, so right now, day out of weigh-ins, we weigh in at I believe 6 p.m. tomorrow. So it's like a later duel. Right now I'm like 3 pounds over. So, or wait, no, I'm 2 pounds over right now. So that's pretty good. So tomorrow, I'll be like 1 pound over, eat a little bit, drink a little bit, and we work out around like 3. So get the rest of the weight off and then weigh in, compete.
So you
Is that
say you like to eat and lift. What don't you get during the season? What kind of has to go the minute the season starts? And what maybe do you add in? Like, are there certain like, all right, this is wrestling season foods. These are non-wrestling season foods. What's that look like?
Yeah, I try to keep it simple during the wrestling season. So, just chicken, rice, vegetables. But I always try to get more carbs in during the season, because it's just quick energy. We try to get a decent amount of protein just to maintain our muscle, because we're not going to gain muscle at all during the season. If anything, we're going to lose a little bit, but we try to keep it maintained as much as possible. So, I mostly just count my carbs and my protein. But at the moment, I found this new company it's called Frog Fuel, and they're like these little packets,
Mhm.
and they're really light, and they have like 15 grams of protein. So I've been using those, and instead of like having like a thick like protein shake, so those are helping a lot. Yeah, things like oatmeal for carbs. Uh, Obviously, I said rice, but I do have those guilty pleasures as well. But I
Don't
try to
answer that
keep.
yet. That's one of our rapid fire questions.
All right.
How are those frog fuels? Do they taste pretty decent? I've seen them. I'm an ultra marathoner too, so I'm always looking at quick fuel sources, and I've seen those come across my radar a few times.
Yeah. So I've had I'm sure you know what goos are.
Hmm.
I've had those, and they're like, thick, and you're like, wow, that's potent. I thought it would be like that, but it's more like I would describe it as like the consistency of oil. It doesn't taste like oil, obviously, but that's like kind of the viscosity of it. And it's like a fruity, like juice flavor, and it's really good.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right. And you mentioned you love to lift. You are you doing power lifts? You doing Olympic lifts? Are you more about the aesthetics? I know I've seen some more bodybuilding stuff with some of your content. What do you like to do in the off season, and then what does it look like in the in season? What are you guys hitting?
Yeah, so I mostly go for aesthetic. I mean, who doesn't like to like,
Be
get
jacked.
lean? Yeah, be jacked, get lean. Um, but also, me and my roommates, we like to do like calisthenics. So like just like body weight, like cool stuff, like things like front planche and like just doing all that really cool stuff. We like to challenge ourselves because we feel like we're these high level athletes that can do anything, but then we run into something like calisthenics where we can't do this and it frustrates us. So we're like, we got to be able to do it. So yeah, we like to do that. Off season, we go hypertrophy. So we go high weight, high reps, destroy our muscles, and it's hard to go sit on the toilet after a leg day. That's the type of stuff we do. But during season, we like to just, get a nice pump, do some good movements with weight. We don't go crazy heavy. Because I mean, you notice if you go too heavy because you do like crazy heavy squats, and then later that day in practice you feel it. So we try not to go like too crazy. Just keep the blood flowing into the muscles. Try to maintain that muscle.
Have you ever heard of gymnastics bodies?
I've definitely seen them. Yeah,
I was gonna
they are
say
crazy.
if you're into the gymnastics and the calisthenics stuff, Coach Summers has a pretty good program that they put together with a lot of progressions and stuff for the program's called Gymnastics Bodies, and they do all kinds of progressions and stuff for
Oh, nice.
stuff on the rings and planches and all that good stuff.
Yeah, we've bought like some wooden like handle things. Like I don't know what you call them, but yeah, we've always wanted to get rings. I forgot what they're called. They're these bands with like these handles that you can do like body weight stuff with. They're like yellow and black. I forgot what they're called,
Is it
but those are
crossover
pretty nice.
symmetry?
It might be. It might be. Um, but yeah, things like that. But I definitely would like some rings for sure. Those are
You got a
those are
bar
pretty hard.
muscle up?
Uh, I mean, we just have a bunch of pull-up bars, so we try to do as much as we can with those.
You got a muscle up?
Yeah,
Yeah, right on.
yeah. It took me a little bit, but I feel like it's mental because we have good strength. We're just like, dang, I can't get it. But once you got the technique, like you can do as many as you want.
Yeah.
It's all technique, right? Like you said, you can do dips, you can do pull-ups. Why aren't I getting over this bar?
Right, exactly.
Yeah. So
But yeah, I figured it out.
yeah, it takes a minute. I used to be that dude that was just like worming his way up the bar, trying to do a muscle up, or you get your body over there and you're just like leaning on it for a minute, and then you're like dipping
One
Yeah.
arm and then the
Yeah,
other
you got
arm.
one. Right. Exactly.
Mention you like lifting and you like doing the feats of strength or different calisthenic stuff. Are you a pretty much like if I'm not on the mat, I'm doing some kind of athletic endeavor? I like to kind of engage my body, or do you have some quiet hobbies? You like to meditate, you like to read. Like, what's that look like? Or are you just like, nah, I'm in my early 20s and I just want to go hard?
Yeah, so I would say in the season I love movies. So I'm off time. I'm always relaxing, watching some TV. Um, but in the summer, I still do watch movies and play video games like, Warzone, stuff like that. But I love to be out and be active. We have this nice mountain called Pinnacle in Little Rock. It's only about like 1,000 feet, but it's pretty cool. It's really beautiful if you go early in the morning and stuff. So I try to stay. I love to stay really active, and I love water sports. I don't have my own boat or anything, but uh, we know a few people with a boat, and we go like wakeboarding, stuff like that. And the man that funded our program, his name is he go Mr. Hatcher. He has a nice lake house, and he allows us to go there one time in the summer, and we have a good time there.
Being associated with AWA, do you play disc golf?
I used to play disc golf a lot, but I don't have my disc with me. I forgot them at home. So, but there's a few spots here that are pretty good. But yeah, I used to go a lot in high school. Not saying I was crazy good or anything, but it was pretty fun.
Have you been to the outdoors and stuff? You ever been to Ouachita National Forest down there?
Uh,
Or no, I'm sorry, Wichita? Is it Wichita?
no, it's Watchdog.
Ouachita,
Yeah,
yeah.
you're right. Yeah. I've been to Lake Ouachita and stuff. So yeah, I've been around there for sure. Like they have houseboats and around there, so it's pretty cool. There's also a place called Heber Springs. So they have like cliff jumping and stuff, and it's like really cool. It's like 40-foot cliffs, and it's like if you're an adrenaline junkie, there's a lot of cliffs around Arkansas that you can go jump off of.
Tapping into your inner Johnny DeJulius.
Yeah. I don't know if I can do all the stuff he does, but I wouldn't mind trying them. Yeah, he is.
You down for a base jump?
I do want to do that. Yeah, I do.
All right.
I would be down. Yeah, that stuff is crazy. I mean, I love like amusement parks. I love the feeling of like the big drop and stuff. So I feel like I wouldn't. I feel like it's might be my thing. Who knows?
All right.
Definitely got to try it someday.
More content for sure.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned amusement parks. Is that something in the back of your head that you want to go try to create content like that? Like what are these bucket list vlogs you want to do in the off season or post wrestling?
Yeah, so I want to do these. I have these ideas that I want to like challenge myself. So I have like certain diet challenges, like only eating meat for a week, or there's these like warriors in Africa that only drink milk and blood from a cow. I'm not gonna find cow's blood, but I was like, maybe I can like somehow like live off of just like milk, and maybe I'll like buy liver or something and like try that out, things like that. And also, David Goggins is a big inspiration to me. Obviously running and stuff, like just like going through like that mental battle. So
the 4x4 by 48.
Yeah, something like that. But I don't know if I should go straight into that, but I kind of want to do like 1 mile an hour, 1 mile for each hour for 24 hours or something like that. So I think that'd be really cool for people to watch and for me to experience, of course.
Let's go. You could do the 4x4x48. I know some people
Think
that
so?
you're a D1 wrestler, you'll have no problem.
Yeah, maybe I'll just do that then instead of the other one.
I think you would find, believe it or not, I think you would find the tediousness of a mile, even just a mile every hour for 24 hours, that would be pretty grueling.
Yeah, I feel like the lack of sleep or yeah, just like the thought of it just makes this exhausts me. I'm just like, wow. Like I have to like pick out like a whole like weekend just like for that one day. That would be so hard, but if for some reason it excites me, so I'm gonna do stuff like that.
Well,
Nice.
I can't wait to see that stuff. You're doing an awesome job with the wrestling, so transferring that over to other aspects is going to be pretty cool to watch. Do you have any vloggers that you get inspiration from or content creators?
Yeah, there's this guy, I think it's called like the Unlazy Way, and he does like kind of things that I was talking about. Like he tries these like really hard things and he just like does them. And it's just like really interesting to me. I started watching him like when he had, I mean, it is a lot of like subscribers, but he had like 50,000 or something. And I was like, yeah, I feel like he should have more. But now he has like close to a couple 100,000 subscribers. So, but yeah, that guy, he's really cool. He does a lot of stuff. He's foreign. I don't know where he's from, but he definitely has an accent. Um, yeah, that's the first one that comes to mind. I do watch YouTube a lot, but a lot of it's during the wrestling season watching people eat foods, so like mukbang and stuff like that.
I hear you. I used to read Bon Appetit. I used to go to Barnes and Noble and buy Bon Appetit to look at the recipes and stuff.
Yeah, just look at the food, be like, oh wow, that looked good. But yeah, stuff like that.
Have you ever heard of Casey Neistat?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I used to watch him before I even got into like vlogging. I was like, maybe I should like watch some of his videos and just like see some techniques he does, but it won't be as good as him, but might as well like pick up some knowledge in that.
But you have a little bit of that going on for sure, and obviously he's got a lot of the equipment and a drone and all that. That makes it a lot easier. But I kind of like what you got going on, so that was why I mentioned him because you definitely have a little bit of that synergy going on.
Yeah, I also like to watch UFC Embedded.
Those are good.
I like the kind of like the documentary style. It's hard to do when it's just me. So I do have to vlog. I do enjoy vlogging, but sometimes I just want to like record someone else. But I'll probably work that into stuff. But yeah, I like to make content for like Matthew. I make take videos of him and he posts it. So I'm out here doing that stuff too.
We got to get him holding the camera for you.
Yeah, I got to just give it
Put
to
him to
him.
work. Put him in a headlock. Big brother him.
I'll give you a candy bar if you record me.
Well, no, just go takedowns. Losers got to hold the camera.
Yeah, maybe we should.
We've talked to quite a few people, and they also said that they don't like to take in other people's content because they feel like there's that kind of parallel thinking that might get into there. So with a guy like Caden, do you follow his content and being from Wisconsin, that sort of stuff? You follow his stuff?
Yeah, I do. I have high respect for Caden because when I first started, I was just doing it for me and for my team, just like so we could have memories at first, and maybe some people will watch it and enjoy it. But he gave me a lot of shout outs and stuff to his followers, and I really appreciated that. It was really cool. So yeah, I watch his videos all the time. I try to comment for the algorithm, stuff like that, give him some support. But yeah, I love his videos. They're really fun to watch.
Yeah, I was telling him the kids on my team know who he is, but they have no idea who Yanni Diakomahalis is.
Yeah, yeah, he inspires a lot of kids these days. So it's really cool to see.
Yeah.
Joey, before we get into rapid fire, was there anything that you think our audience should know about you that we didn't touch on?
Yeah, I would say there's a lot of wrestlers out there, like kids wrestlers that are like, do I belong at like the next level or something? Like in high school, I was struggling with mentally struggling with like not winning state. So freshman year, got second at state. I was like happy. I was like, yeah, I got second. Paul's freshman year, he got fifth at state. So I'm better than him. But
You know
then
how that
sophomore
goes.
year, yeah. So I was happy with that. Little bummed that I didn't win, but second year, sophomore year, I got second again. Junior year, I got second again. So I was like, man, like my main goal is to like make it to Division 1 and compete at that level. Become an All-American in the D1 level, maybe national champ. Do I even like belong there? Like I can't even win like state in high school. But it's that mental battle that these kids need to like focus on. Like it's not always like technique. I'll like most wrestlers at this level like can do anything. Like they work hard, they're very strong, they got a lot of great skill in their technique, but it always comes down to like the mental side of things. And things like mindset, wrestling mindset. Like there's people starting to recognize um like that's like the mindset is like a huge percentage of like competition. So but eventually I did win state because you stick to it, and you start believing in yourself. Like you start winning certain tournaments, but or like so having to have a good practice. Even like say you come back from a practice, you're like, man, that was a really good practice. Like you can feel like the boost, and it like shoots you like through the rest of the week, in any sort of like circumstance, whether it's like school or something, you're more confident. So I think kids should really focus on mindset. That's the biggest thing I got from this sport, and I feel like things like the mindset that you get from wrestling could help you, in your future. Like I'm sure you guys have recognized that for sure.
Do you have anything specific that you use for mindset? You meditating? Do you have a journal? What's your keys?
Yeah. So I usually write things down. My mind usually goes to business for some reason, or like content creation. Uh, of course, it goes to wrestling too, but yeah, I like to. I wouldn't consider it like a scheduled meditation. Maybe I should try like check that out and try it out. But I like to just relax sometimes and just yeah, I would consider it some sort of meditation, and just I like to just let my mind like wander and like think about stuff. So people might not recognize that from me, but I like to. I'm pretty creative when it comes to like thoughts and stuff.
Okay.
Thank you for sharing that with us, because I think that's that's something that a lot of high school wrestlers need to hear. Is if you want to wrestle in college and you have the will to do it, you can do it. And
Oh
growing
yeah, of
up, I needed someone like you to say that, and I'm sure you needed the same thing. So thanks for sharing that with our audience.
course.
Any piggybacking off of that, the mindset is so important. Do you have any other tips for young kids that are maybe taking some lumps right now, but that are bought into it and want to be good?
Yeah, these bumps and stuff is what makes wrestling beautiful. Because it's like you have the lows of lows, but it's when you push through those lows, you like reach like a certain high, like you reach the highs, and then you realize how beautiful that low was. And it's like sometimes you need the dark to be able to see like the light. So you just got to embrace those lows and recognize that you're in a low, and know that you have to push through it in order to reach certain levels that you never thought you'd reach. um, so I'm pretty certain that every wrestler has been in a really low, and uh, has thought about like quitting wrestling, because I mean it's a hard sport. But the guys that push through, I mean, you end up getting a unconditional love for the sport and like the camaraderie that comes with it. So yeah, I would say notice where you're at mentally and physically, and know where if you're in a low, push through. And I mean, there's nothing worse than being and at the lowest of lows. So you can only go up. So
Thank you. I think I already know the answer to this. I caught it, but is it stance in motion or stance and motion, Joey?
I'd say stance and motion.
Okay.
Is it 149s or 149?
149.
State or states?
Definitely state. I don't know why people say states. Definitely state.
Do you have a post weigh-in, like certain thing you're eating every time?
Yeah, I like to get some quick carbs in. I like to have some sort. It has to be a little warm, like because I've been the whole week. You're just kind of just getting the quickest stuff in. I mean, you do have hot meals here and there, but it's not like I just need to have some sort of real food afterwards, just to like help me mentally. But the main focus is definitely the drinks. I like some vitamin water. I like there's this brand called Hoist. They're really good. It's like similar to Liquid IV. I also drink Liquid IV, and I like Essentia water for some reason. There's something about it. It's just like crisp and refreshing.
It's that pH.
Yeah, yeah, high pH.
Well, yeah, it's the pH for sure. But seeing that you're in Arkansas, you should check. It's called findaspring.com, and there's probably some natural springs in your area, and that'll be the water that'll get you going. We have one. It's about 30 minutes from my house. I go there once a week, and I get about 20 gallons of water so I have for the week. And
Yeah,
yeah, check that out. What's your walkout song?
my walkout song is "I Did It" by DJ Khaled.
Okay.
What's your favorite shoe?
I would have to say I would say Nike Freaks, but I have these Asics wrestling shoes called International Lights that are so comfortable. So I would say International Light is my favorite shoe.
Those are old school. How'd you find a pair of those?
Uh, well, I think they resold them
Okay.
or started they made more, and I bought them like junior year of high school, and I took good care of them. So I was thinking about actually wearing them tomorrow. Uh, but yeah, I don't think they stopped making them again. So people always look at them, they're like, "Man, can I buy those off you?" I'm like,
Yeah, those are a hot commodity on eBay for sure.
"Yeah,
Are you a Nike school?
we are."
Yeah. So, but you'd be allowed to sneak in the Asics tomorrow.
I mean, they can try and stop me. I mean, I'll bring my Inflix just in case, maybe. But I think I'll pass through with them just fine.
Okay. Joey, is there any if you were in charge of the wrestling committee, the rules committee, is there anything that you would add to make the sport better or take away?
Um, this might make some people mad, but there's a certain love for folk style, but I really wish NCAA was just freestyle. Since USA is the only country that does folk style, I feel like if we embrace freestyle and Greco, then we'll just be even better on the international level. But some people have a certain love for folk style. I mean, I just do it because we have to. I love freestyle. I love Greco. So I would say that's what I would change. It would be a big change, but that's probably what I would do.
Okay. Okay. So I know then that you're not into headgear.
No, I hate headgear. So annoying.
So you're in the conference quarterfinals, end of the first period. You get the coin flip. What are you taking? Top, bottom, neutral, defer?
I'm going bottom.
Every time?
Yeah. Uh, I'm going bottom unless if it's someone who's like really good with like legs. I don't like leg riders, so If I know they're not crazy good on top, I'll go bottom. But if they're leg rider, I'm going neutral. I do love neutral, so um, it's either bottom or neutral. I rarely defer, so
Is there a thought process behind that?
see, I used to defer all the time, like in high school. I thought, like strategy wise, but that's the one thing our coaches taught us is just like, score as many points as possible. So if I have the opportunity to score more points right like as soon as possible, I'm gonna do it. So yeah, I usually pick neutral I just pick bottom.
Do you scout your opponents? Do you watch film?
Not all the time, no. I rarely do unless if it's like for like a duel or like conference, I would say scouting is good, but I'm not sitting at like a tournament like looking someone up and like trying to find videos on them.
Sure.
Um, sometimes I don't even look at the bracket, or their name on the bracket. I just look at the bout because I mean it is good to scout sometimes, but other times like for my mindset wise, it's just I'm gonna wrestle the same either way. Just score as many points as possible, outlast them, just things like that.
Okay.
I used to do the same things with the brackets. I would just tell my coach, let me know when I'm up. I don't want to know who I'm wrestling. I'm gonna have to wrestle him anyway.
Right.
So just I'll be surprised when I get on the mat.
Yeah.
Rich,
Like,
Rich
wow,
is,
that guy's big.
yeah, like, oh man, I had that kid. But it always works for me, to be honest with you, because like, and I used to do this trick too at tournaments. I would warm up on a mat on the other side, like completely away from the table. I'd have someone check in for me so I could like come in like Batman and the dude, because like when you're standing at the table, you're always looking, right? You're always like trying to eye the dude up and do that. I would always just try to get away from it and just come in and not even play that game.
Right.
Joey, are you a coffee drinker?
Uh, yeah, but I can't drink black coffee. I
Okay.
tried one time. I tried so many times because my parents like drink black coffee. Some of my brothers do, and I mean, I love the taste of coffee, but it has to have like creamer or something in it.
All right. Are you is it like a daily thing or are you only having coffee every once in a while? And if it is a daily thing, how do you brew it? How do you take it?
So I'm actually an energy drink aficionado.
Okay.
But yeah, I love trying different energy drinks. But if I do have coffee, um, we have a French press, so I do that. I just bought my girlfriend an espresso maker, so um, whenever I go over to her place, she can make like espresso here and there. So like shaken espressos, things like that. But yeah, I wouldn't call myself like a huge coffee drinker. So since I like energy drinks, I like just cracking open, drinking it. So something like Monster Java or those double shots of like Starbucks, cans, things like that.
Is that your go-to energy source, or you got a are you into bangs? You do rains? What do you go to? What's your flavor profile? What do you like?
Yeah, so I'm uh Ghost is make the Ghost Energy. Have you heard of
Mm-hmm.
them? Yeah, they
Mm-hmm.
make some energy drinks. Those are really good.
You
I
got the
like I
Sour
like
Patch Kids ones or the Airheads?
yeah, Sour Patch, yeah. I like sour drinks. I like citrusy drinks. So I either go, Ghost or maybe Bang. Rains are good. I don't know why I just don't get those a lot. There's also this brand called 3D.
Mm-hmm.
Um, those are good. Um, I actually watched the owner, like Christian Guzman. He's a YouTuber and he makes good videos, so I watch him a decent amount.
Okay, right on. Have you ever done a C4?
Yeah, I get C4. I don't get them as much because they're not like close to me. So like, but they are at a Target, which is decently close. So whenever I go to Target, I'll grab me one.
Do you have the Skittles one or the Starburst one?
Uh, no, uh, those are C4,
Yeah,
I think. Oh no,
yeah. Those are. Oh, okay.
I meant 3D. Yeah, there's this brand called 3D. I don't don't know if you've seen them, but they're good. If you see them, you should check them out.
I'll keep a look at. I used to be pretty big into Jimmy too. Maybe not as much as me. Maybe he goes harder sometimes. But I found out. I won't tell you what it is on air, but look into where they source or how they create synthetic caffeine.
Piss.
Okay.
That may deter you, and you may get onto the coffee scene a little bit more. I'm just saying.
Okay. No, for sure. I always like to learn more about things. I mean, I know there's like energy drinks that like somehow they get natural okay, that makes sense what natural caffeine means then, because I didn't. So you're saying like most energy drinks like have the synthetic stuff?
Yeah, like probably the Ghost, the Bangs, the Rains. I don't know about 3D. I don't think I've ever had one of those, but the C4s, yeah, typically those are synthetic caffeine. Like what the heck was I gonna say? The other ones with the natural caffeines, those are usually like a green tea extract or a coffee
Right.
extract. But yeah, some of those other ones, it's synthetic caffeine. So
Interesting.
be a
Okay.
little rabbit hole you can go down after we get off air here.
Yeah, for sure.
We touched on it a little bit, but do you have any daily practices or rituals that you do on a regular basis to show up as the strongest version of yourself?
Yeah, so I grew up as a Catholic. Um so yeah, I like to pray like every night. Um so I would say that is definitely a daily practice of mine. Um I would say making my bed every day definitely helps. So those are the two big ones I would, because once you make your bed, I feel like, you check one off the list, and it just like motivates you to do more like during the day. Um, and I've actually tested. I've forced myself to be lazy and not make my bed, and I I don't know if it's definitely just all mental, but yeah, you're not as productive that day. So
I
Have you
agree.
seen the speech with the admiral at the college commencement? Is that where you got that from?
yeah.
Yeah, me too.
That was my first like grown ass person type of all right, I'm gonna take control of my life. I'll start making my bed. So I can relate on that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you listening to right now? Music wise, podcasts, audiobooks. Are you reading anything?
No, I need to read more. I've been looking into books that I want to get, because I've gotten into like the motivation kind of world, and I just want to like hear other people's stories, because I believe that any person in the world could write a book and it would be interesting. Everyone has their different experiences. Everyone has done different things to make them who they are. And I just feel like anyone could literally tell their story. Anyone could make a YouTube channel vlog that could be interesting to someone else. So I definitely want to read some more books. But I do listen to music. I listen to my some dubstep here and there. I listen to some pop, some rap. It really depends on my mood. Sometimes I listen to someone called like people like Daniel Caesar, like some like soul kind of singing. Um, but yeah, I like to keep a good variety in my music. I never really have a certain genre that I just stick to.
Have you embraced country music?
Yes, I mean, I love country music. I don't really listen to the recent like songs, but I grew up like listening to, like, my mom would always listen to certain like like Montgomery Gentry, things like that. The 2000s like era of country. That's what I vibe to, I guess.
Okay, right on. You check out any podcasts? You subscribe to Nelk Boys or Impulsive or anything like that, like the young kids are doing these days?
Yeah, I definitely listen to Joe Rogan a lot. I feel like his podcast is really interesting. But I mean, I usually follow, like, I don't follow certain people's like podcasts maybe, um, but I follow like them on Instagram, and they usually post like little snippets of their podcasts. And there's this guy named Joe Santagato
Oh,
He does
dude, I got a story for you about Joe Santagato.
I just love his podcast so much.
Dude, so long story short, The Rock had like a search for to be like the next pro wrestler, and you had to cut promos, and Joe Santagato was the host. I made it to the top 16, but Joe Santagato used to bury me every week. He'd be like, look at this fucking guy at a CrossFit gym. I hate him. But yeah, that's how I know Joe Santagato. So that's funny.
Wow. That is cool.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I used to watch him back when he was like on Facebook making like, these videos of stupid things people have said on like Twitter and stuff like that. So I've always watched him. Man, that's cool that you know him though, and that he like basically.
Well, I don't know him any better.
He just trashed him.
It's cool that we have him. I can relate that story to you.
Yeah.
Joey, who's controlling the aux cord in the room?
It used to be me, because our coach makes us. Our coach is a Christian man, so he doesn't like swear words and stuff like and explicit music. So I was the only one that made a clean playlist. So it was me for a while. But my brother Matthew's on it a lot, and Tristan Wills on my team, he's on it sometimes. So it flip flops. So if someone gets sick of someone else's music, someone goes like, "Hey, Joey, you get on aux today." I'm like, all right.
We doing rock? We doing rap? What are we?
I like
doesn't have curses in it.
Yeah, it's actually difficult to make a playlist. I like what should I even like look up, because I tried to find someone else's clean playlist and they just have like songs that really aren't like for wrestling practice, So I don't know. I try to keep it upbeat. Some people really like rap on our team, so I try not to do too much pop or something like that. So I put like rap music, pop, sometimes little electric music, stuff to try, keep like that's high pace, I guess.
Yeah.
So
Right on. Last but certainly not least, I told you to hold that thought about an hour ago. Joey, do you have a guilty pleasure?
I do. Donuts. Donuts will always have my heart.
Literally.
Yeah. Literally. So yeah, we love, like, me and my roommates love to get donuts like whenever we have a lot of time before like our next competition. We're like, let's go get some donuts. So we also go like get crumble cookie or something like that. So I have a big sweet tooth. So anything that's sweet, like I just love.
You have a favorite donut shop? You're doing Krispy Kreme, or you're doing like Entenmann's or Tasty Cakes at the grocery store, or is it just anything that says donut on it, I'm down?
Yeah, well, that too. But when I first like got recruited here, they had a Krispy Kreme, and Coach Erskine put me right in a hotel that was right next to it.
I'm in.
That was a
So
test.
I was like, dude, I'm going here. Like I got myself a 6-pack and I just ate it. Like I love cream filled donuts, so Krispy Kreme has a special place in my heart. But I went back home, came my freshman year, it was gone. So I was so mad about that, so bummed out. But there's a place called it used to be a Shipley's, but it's now called Doughboys. So, and it's really close to us. So we go there. I always get myself a cream filled glazed donut, and then like a chocolate cream filled bar. Like I always go cream filled.
Okay, right on. You ever have a maple bacon?
Yes, yeah. There's also a place called Hertz Donuts, and they have maple bacon.
Yes, I know
Yes.
Hertz.
It's good. So
There's I used to live in Oklahoma City, and there was a Hertz donut in Norman. So when I would go down and check out the OU matches, I used to have a pretty bad donut habit myself. So I'm quite familiar with Hertz donuts.
yeah,
They're good.
yeah. Whenever I'm in a new spot, I always look for the donut places. I'm like, where should I go? I gotta check them out.
Where's Pac-12 out this year?
I believe it's in Stanford.
Okay.
I believe so.
Okay.
Might have to double check, but I'm pretty sure it's Stanford or ASU. I don't know. I gotta check.
Well, if you ever happen to get out to Oregon State and you pass through Portland, you might want to detour and go to Voodoo.
Okay. Yeah, we it was Pac-12 was in Oregon State not too long ago. So we're over there. But you said Voodoo?
Voodoo Donut. It comes in a pink box.
Okay.
You can't miss it. They're pretty good. We used to have one right by the house in Denver too.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll have to check that out.
I think that's what broke Rich on donuts, to be honest with you. I think there was
I
too
think
many
it
late
was.
nights of Voodoo Donut, broke us both.
Yeah.
I think it was. That's the last donut I had was a Voodoo donut.
Mine too. Joey, thank you so much for your time. I really enjoyed this conversation tonight. And thank you for the videos you put out. For an old guy like me to kind of live vicariously through you, seeing you wrestle, seeing you, do the content. And, another thing is it's like it's not easy to put content out there because, like you said, you're gonna lose at some point in a wrestling match. So to kind of still put yourself out there, that takes a lot. So thank you for that. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Good luck this weekend too. Give them hell.
Will do. Thank you for having me on here. It was really
Absolutely.
fun.